So we'll begin. We have seen Ashwapati's great ascension into these spheres of experience, and they keep descending into him. And this is all before we get to Book 1, Canto 5, which is when he has the full experiences. And then we get into Book 2, where he goes through all these planes of existence and explains each plane of existence. This is what the gentleman, Mark Auburn, has not been able to do as yet. In fact, I've been with him quite a few times, and his wife, who's very open. And it seems that, you can have 10,000 out-of-body experiences, but where is the context to fit those experiences in? Sri Aurobindo has given us that. He's not just saying, I went into this plane and I went into that plane and it was wonderful and beautiful, but he's saying, this is what happens in this plane, the good and the bad, the progressive and the regressive. So when we get to that, it's going to be very, very intense. And so we have seen that Ashwapati is continuing on this curve of bornless self, boundless self, no limit to this self. And he sees these points that run through the closed heart of things. And he sees this indeterminable line. And there's no determination to this line. It's endless, that carries the everlasting through the years. Capital E for everlasting is the divine. Carries the divine through the years. So we have now our beginning. The magician order of the cosmic mind. And Sri Aurobindo tells us about cosmic and universal. And he says, there is no difference between these terms, universal and cosmic, except that universal can be used in a freer way than cosmic. And then he gives us a good definition. Universal may mean of the universe, cosmic in that sense, in that general sense. But it may also mean common to all. This is a universal weakness, but you cannot say this is a cosmic weakness. So then there's a lot on the cosmic mind, which we'll go through another day. Coercing the freedom of infinity with the stark array of nature's symbol facts. Well, this is very interesting. To coerce is to compel or restrain by force or authority without regard to anything else, to any individual or anything. He is coercing the freedom of infinity. And what is he doing it with? He's doing it with the stark array of nature's symbol facts. Well, there's so much here to talk about. An array, of course, is an arrangement or a series of things. Stark is bare, blunt. So nature, we know, is an active force of conscious being. And when the Divine Mother limits herself to come down into the human body, she also has to take on the human body. Otherwise, how can she change us if she doesn't seem like us? So she takes on the human body, she takes on all the problems of life, and she makes errors. Errors are a part of the divine also. So she can create something and she can destroy it at the same time. And we've had the great example of the dinosaurs and all of these creatures that when they were no longer useful, she got rid of them and started something else. So, nature is an active force of conscious being. Conscious, yes, because it's the divine creatrix. But she realizes herself in the powers of self-experience. Knowledge, will, self-delight. And it's the seer will, the knowledge force of the conscious being at work to evolve in force and form all the inevitable truth of the idea into which it has originally thrown itself. That's a small portion from the life divine. And nature is nothing but the will of God in action. So we continue. And life's incessant signals of event. Incessant means unending, continuing without interruption. And what did that do? It transmuted chance recurrences into laws. There's a lot to say on this, because to transmute something is to change one nature or substance or form into another. So she's transmuting these chance recurrences into laws. Why do we have to have laws? At our lowest level of experience, in the ignorance, body, life, and mind, we must have laws. There are moral laws, there are judicial laws, there are all kinds of laws that can guide us. But the moment we have risen above that first plane of existence into the spiritual planes, the laws change completely. And the laws can change with consciousness. We can consciously change the laws. Morality is not the morality we know here. It's totally different. So he's doing this change of chance, recurrences, things that happen again and again, into laws. And therefore, he's creating a chaos of signs into a universe. So powerful. Out of the rich wonders and the intricate spirals of the spirit's dance with matter as its mask, the balance of the world's design grew clear. And out of this dance of the spirit with matter, the design of this whole world has grown clear. So back to Savitri, its symmetry of self-arranged effects, managed in the deep perspectives of the soul, and the realism of its elusive art, its logic of infinite intelligence, its magic of a changing eternity. Today I read for about 30-40 minutes Purani on art. I'd never seen it before. He goes through art from the beginning. He answers people's questions in such a beautiful way that if you're interested in art, go to our website, motherandshriaurobindo.in Purani, and you'll see how brilliant he was. I never knew he had such a grasp of art.
Any art form?
All the art forms. He talks about Picasso, he talks about the Renaissance, he talks about all aspects of art.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is happening here now? Because this is very interesting. This design of the world that grows clear. The design of the world has a symmetry of self-arranged effects, managed in the deep perspectives of the soul. Okay, I'm just going to go up there for the moment because whether we can see it or not, amidst all this turbulence, this violence, these wars, this hatred, there is a self-arrangement by the divine working all these things out so he can experience himself in millions and billions of ways because each of us is he. We're all divine. So this symmetry of self-arranged effects, you could say, well, isn't this fatalism? Isn't this some kind of predestination? Yes, it is true that everything is predestined. But there is also the freedom given to every soul to find its path. So it's predestined in a way that we will all one day be divine. Yes.
Can we say that these chance recurrences into loss could be the law of karma? Because it is also self-arranged.
Absolutely. It's the law of karma or fate. Yes. So these things are managed in the deep perspectives of the soul. And the realism of its elusive art, its logic of infinite intelligence, its magic of a changing eternity. So here we learn of the world's design, and we learn of this magic of a changing eternity. And yet there is more. There is much more. The letters stood out of the unmoving word. I think
You skipped a line there. You skipped a line.
I did.
A glimpse was caught.
A glimpse was caught of things forever unknown. And these things are unknown, but they can be known. And that's the difference. We say that this is impossible, it cannot be, because it's unknown. But Sri Aurobindo tells us all the unknown can be known because we are divine. And we can rise to those heights and find the answers. So this is not a world of happenstance. It is not a world of pure fate or chance. It's a world designed by the Creator to explore, as I say, the billions of ways of Himself in all the universes. Now, Mark Auburn has told us that he has seen these universes, and during his 9-hour talk last Sunday, he broke into tears at times, recalling one of these extraordinary universes. He said there was symphony after symphony. And the beauty of a music he had never heard before. This has to come to earth. One of the ways Mother used was Sunil and his music. And then she's using me now, but that's okay. Okay, a glimpse was caught of things forever unknown. The letters stood out of the unmoving word. Now, did I go through this definition of the word with you? I didn't. Oh, okay, I have to do that. This is from the future poetry, not from any of the major books. He says, the word is a sound expression of the idea. In the superphysical plane, when an idea has to be realized, one can, by repeating the word expression of it, produce vibrations which prepare the mind for the realization of the idea. That is the principle of the mantras and of japa. One repeats the name of the divine, and the vibrations created in the consciousness prepare the realization of the divine. It is the same idea that is expressed in the Bible. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. It is creation by the word. We see the power of this word. And this is why Swami Vivekananda said, be careful with your words and your thoughts, because they have a power. And Mother said to us, before, if you, let's say someone is confronting you, Mother says, step back for a moment before you speak. Don't say anything. And then the correct reply will begin. I need to do that more often. In the immutable, nameless origin was seen emerging as from fathomless seas the trail of the ideas that made the world. Idea is capitalized here. And this, when it's capitalized, it refers to the real idea or the supramental. In the supramental manifestation, he says, the idea is the realization of a truth in consciousness, as the fact is its realization in power. And again, from the supramental consciousness, he says very briefly, the idea, cap I, is not a reflection of the external fact which it so much exceeds. Rather, the fact is only a partial reflection of the idea which has created it. Oh. And sown in the black earth of nature's trance, the seed of the Spirit's blind and huge desire, from which the tree of cosmos was conceived, and spread its magic arms through a dream of space. These mystical lines, so filled with beauty, speak of the tree of cosmos, and it is not the Yggdrasil tree of Norway, Sweden, and these areas, but it's a tree with its roots above in the heavens, and its branches spread downward. It's a very common metaphor in spiritual traditions. I personally can tell you a dream of Annie, who was my first wife. She sees me climbing St. Paul's School, climbing up the brick facade. And everyone down below is frightened that I'm going to fall, because I see this golden tree and I say, I must bring a branch of this down for the Divine Mother. And I succeed. So she wrote to Mother, and Mother replied, "It is not quite a dream, but it is a very good indication of the work you are doing." That was in the early days of the nursery of the Matrimandir and the gardens. So these lines here, so filled with beauty, speak of the tree of cosmos being conceived from the seed of the Spirit's huge blind desire. And here desire is not the term we traditionally understand, but the tremendous aspiration of the Spirit's seed, which is blind, that is, unseeing. Again, not blind as we know it. Temi used to tell me, yes, blind means unsighted. We're not able to see it, but we're not blind. It's a fine distinction. Now, immense realities took on a shape. There looked out from the shadow of the unknown the bodiless namelessness that saw God born. Interesting line, fascinating line. This bodiless namelessness that saw God born. Well, again, God had to pour himself into these innumerable lives. Again, to realize different aspects of himself. And so God is born into the human form. There's lines in Savitri filled with this. A God come down and greater by the fall. My teacher, Aurobindo Basu, gave a huge lecture on that one line. A God come down and greater by the fall. So the namelessness is the inexpressible and tries to gain from the mortal's mind and soul a deathless body and a divine name. So I will end there tonight. I want to share something with you. When Mark and Anne, his wife, came 2 weeks ago, I guess. Last week was it? My goodness, time is flying. He said he was so deeply moved by the vibration that was in this room and by the sincerity and devotion of the people who came. This is a man who never believed in God. No, it doesn't exist.
He says that?
Oh yes, many times he said that. Yeah, but now reading Sri Aurobindo, he's starting to change. And it's a good change. His wife has great occult power. She can see auras. I spend quite a bit of time with her. And she's extremely gentle, refined, but with the power, huh? So I wanted to share that with you. We'll concentrate for a few seconds, and then Om. Om.